Good morning and welcome to Thursday Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, live from the Hole in the Ceiling studios in Deer Valley, Arizona. The largest game of bumper cars probably going on right now. Rain here in the valley during rush hour. I'm glad I go to work early because early this morning it had not started raining, but during the rush hour it started coming down. And as I've told you all, we barely know how to drive in this state as it is. Throw some rain in there, forget about it. I hope all your insurance premiums have been paid up. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. The website at allamericangold.com. And, of course, if you didn't already know, gold and silver, precious metals. We do a little platinum, a little palladium, every once in a blue moon, some rhodium. But gold and silver, wealth insurance, that is what we do. And quite honestly, we do it better than anyone. All you metals plan participants, I've been telling you all week, everything's going to be going out next week. We'll actually start shipping Monday, Tuesday, if we need to, Wednesday, Thursday. Just great response there. We've broken a record, I think, now for 4 straight quarters in a row. For the last 4 straight quarters in a row, record participation, record dollar amounts, which just means, hey, you're going to be able to buy things for even less. If you want to know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go out to the website at allamericangold.com, click on the metals program. And we set that up because, listen, gold's expensive. I mean, really what it means is your dollars are just not worth as much as they used to be. But we run specials, $20 gold pieces, $1,585. That's, for most people in America today, that's a lot of money. And so we're like, we got to come up with something that allows more people to participate. That's where we came up with the metals program. For as little as $100 a month, you can get started insuring your wealth. There is no maximum. We want to do $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever you want to do. And you get 4 physical deliveries a year. I love it because I kind of say, hey, it's like our version of a 401k. No, is it tax deferred? Nope. Actually, I think that's a good thing. Right? Do you really want to have all your money in a bunch of tax deferred instruments, especially knowing what the debt's going to be doing over the next 10 years, just the next 10 years? Oh, by the way, don't forget, though, that Trump tax cut, that expires in 2021. Whatever we got, which wasn't, most of it was for business, but whatever we got, that goes away 2021. So don't forget about that as well. And obviously, the wrong person gets into the Oval Office, you can bet your dollars that all your tax-deferred instruments that you have are going to be facing much higher tax. And I don't think it's unavoidable, really, no matter who's in there. So this is not tax deferred or anything like that, but especially like maybe you're a small business owner like me. Hey, I don't have a 401k. I'm my own boss, or maybe, hey, I'm on my own boss and I've got 2, 3, 4 employees. I don't have the density of employees to make a 401k plan affordable. Then this is a great way to go because again, you tell us, you put a card on file any day from the 1st through the 28th. You tell us the day you want us to withdraw your funds. So we work within your budget. For a lot of people, they say, hey, just do it on the 1st. For other people, like, hey, man, that's a tough day for. I got rent, I got a mortgage, I got the car payments, I got my health care. Hey, do it on the 15th or do it on the 20th. Whatever day works best for you. And then at the end of every quarter, we pool up all the money. I go out into the markets and I just make the best buys I possibly can. Pass on all the savings to you guys. and we ship out, like I said, 4 times a year, 4 physical deliveries a year. It doesn't cost anything to set up. It doesn't cost anything if you want to change the amount, if you need to cancel it, if you want to put it on hold. I mean, we get it, especially at the lower end. For a lot of people, hey, if an unexpected expense comes up, right, I've got to pull back. And then when you're ready, call us back, and we'll get you started again. It's just that easy, 800-951-0592. A lot of things to talk about again today. We had final GDP. We had, what else did we have? We had existing home sales. And actually we had new home sales yesterday, and we'll talk about that if we have time. The whistleblower is out today. We'll briefly touch on that. I will say this. Well done by the GOP getting out in front of this before the whistleblower put his stuff out. Really probably going to paid a lot of dividends. We may talk about that. I'll tell you about the repos today. These guys are clueless. It's embarrassing how bad the central bank has handled it. What's even more embarrassing is Wall Street knows it, so they don't want to talk about it. Patriot Radio News Hour. Stay safe on the roads out there today, Phoenix. We'll be right back after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold is up this morning. Yesterday, a big move. Big. It was $20-something to the downside. That's a big enough move. Silver was down as well. A big spike in the dollar. The euro and the pound continue. The euro's getting ready to go to parity. Think about 3 years ago. The euro was about $1.42. You needed $1.42 for 1 euro. Today, it's down to $1.08, $1.09. Who knows? Maybe even go the other direction. But I'll say this: if you want to go travel to across the pond to Europe or to England, good time to do it. It's cheaper than it normally is. The pound below $1.20, and the pound used to be like $1.80, $1.70, below $1.20. I know that Wall Street doesn't like that either, that high dollar to the president. He hates it as well. The Dow is down 100 points today, 26,800. The NASDAQ, the S&P is lower as well. The whistleblower thing came out. Here's what I'm looking at when I saw this, and I'm not going to go into great detail. You can get that somewhere else. The big item is the moving of the phone call to a different White House server. This is at least from the Democrats. That's what they're making the big stink about today. I don't know all the rules. Obviously, this is the way I look at it. This is payback for the Clinton thing, because the Democrats were dumb enough to still believe the Hillary server thing cost her the election. Listen, what cost her the election is she's a terrible candidate. Okay, so there you go. But nonetheless, that looks like the most damning thing is they didn't like it. No, I get it, right? They probably didn't. They probably heard the call with the president. Oh man, you can't do that, right? And they moved it to a different server. It's not like it was a private, just a different government server. So the log of the phone call. And again, right? I get it. I get it, right? Yeah, you kind of knew you screwed it up, and you tried to get away with it. You didn't. Is it the end of the world and all this and that? No, I don't think so. I don't think that has any credence. I don't think people are worried about it. I will say this though, and again, I don't know the law, but let's just say this was is a bigger deal than I'm making it out to be. right? We already know that the Democrats control the House and can start the impeachment process and maybe get there, and then it's up to the Senate to decide. And how many Republicans, because, and I don't understand it, but I guess I do. There's a lot of Republicans that don't like Trump. And I'll say mostly the lifers, right? They don't like him. And so I don't know. It could be, if this was worse than I'm making it out to be, because I'm like, okay, dumb, shouldn't have done it, but, not the end of the world type thing. Ooh, boy. You definitely want to have your gold and silver before that ever happened. I'll guarantee you that. That would not be a happy day for all of your paper investments. The big news today, though, had to do with China again. The Chinese went out and said, listen, we have bought mass, to go conehead, mass quantities of soybean and pork. And now that we've done that, it's your turn, right? Now it's time for you, United States, to give some breaks here. We responded with, we don't think that we're going to give the Huawei, remember Huawei, right? Back to Huawei again. This is the Chinese equivalent to, let's call it what it is. Spying, right? Think about your cell phones and the cell phone networks and all the servers and where all the data's collected, all of those things, right? That's Huawei. That's what Huawei does, right? They make phones, they make servers. They're in communications. How's that, right? Anything to do with communications, and they're viewed as the cheaper, right? The cheaper way of doing it. So when you're out there as on a massive scale, you're a large company or you're a government entity, right? Huawei looks attractive to you because you go out and you say, Ericsson, what's your bid? And blah, 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 what's your bid? Sprint, you got a bid. And you put all these AT&T and you get all these bids together. Huawei's going to be the cheaper one. And of course, we are saying that, hey, they're using this as a way to spy on us and all this. And again, like the other ones couldn't do the same thing. But neither here nor there. They're right. They're not wrong. Right, and we know this about the Chinese. Hey, listen, if we can find stuff, hey, we'll take it. Right? Hey, we're in there. You bought our stuff and you put it in there, and for the betterment of the state, we found some secrets over here, and we borrowed them. Right? And, of course, we don't want other foreign governments using Huawei. And of course, if I'm sitting over there and I'm these other foreign governments, I'm probably thinking to myself, okay, whatever. Like, you guys don't do that to us. Maybe you don't steal it from us, but you looked at it, right? You do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but we responded with, right now we have been granting waivers to Huawei and allowing for certain components and whatnot to be sent to them so they can, make their stuff. Looks like we're going to not extend that. So that's kind of what's got the markets upset today, which is, China thinks they deserve a little credit here for feeding their people, buying soybeans, buying pork, and that they want the United States, as China has said, they want the U.S. to meet them halfway. So I don't know what halfway is. Hey, I'll tell you what, normally we steal 50 secrets from your companies a month. Tell you what, we'll cut it down to 25. How's that? Call it good. I don't know how that works. How do you meet halfway on stealing intellectual property? I don't know. Like I said, and I'll say it again, China is willing to buy plenty of more stuff. And that's the deal they want. Hey, tell you what, here's what we'll do. We'll just start buying a lot more stuff from you, shrink that trade gap a little bit, and let's call it good. I don't think that's going to work. That's why the markets are down. Of course, yesterday, remember why they got all excited yesterday? Because the president, of course, while being hit with the Ukraine thing, trying to draw attention away from that, talking about, hey, we could be close to a deal. Now, today, I guess we got a little bit farther apart, and that's kind of what's driving it. Now, we did get some good news today. We got good news on housing. Just so you know, both existing and new home sales were higher in August. These were August numbers, higher in August. But remember, July was horrific. July was down big. Both of them bounced back. If you took July and August and combined the two, housing was down a little bit. A little bit more than, and it's been falling. But August, we did get a rebound. So I think it's the first upswing in home sales since 2016. But just with a little bit of got to be honest about it, July was really bad. So we did get a bounce back on both new and existing. New homes, again, I don't know. The average price, $350,000 now, and on top of that, the sales of homes, less than 10% of all new homes bought were $200,000 or less. And I only bring that up because that's the starter home. Right? And I tell the story, I don't even know how many times I've told the story. My wife and I, our first home, it was $130-something thousand. 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a postage stamp lot way out of town. Right? Because that was all we could afford. Now, that postage stamp lot way out of town is $350,000. The home sales I want to say it was the largest percentage on record of homes of $750,000 or more. So really seeing all of that weigh into things and why it is apartments galore are coming everywhere. The other good news, General Motors. So they haven't built a car in 11 days. Now, I think that's good news for them. And what I mean by that is they have too many cars. Now, the cars that sell, they're starting to run short on. The cars that don't sell, that sit there for, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 days, hey, at least we can stop making them for a little while. This morning, General Motors announced that they're closing in on a deal with workers. They've reinstated their insurance. So in case you didn't know, I want to say the second day of the strike, General Motors said, hey, you know what, per strike rules, no more using us for your health care. You had to go to Cobra. Way more expensive. And any of you that have ever been laid off, or maybe you've gone out on strike somewhere, the difference in the cost of insurance from your employer to Cobra, it's off the charts. So much more expensive. GM has reversed that today. Still no deal, but, obviously as a good faith effort, hopefully they'll get something done before the weekend and all these people can get back to work because, that's 50,000 people not working, plus all the restaurants and the other, think about all the suppliers, the people that bring the uniforms, the towels, the toilet paper, right? The soap, all this. I mean, all that stuff, right? It's not just the factory worker. So, what do we got here? Oh, okay. I just got handed a little note. We're going to share it with everybody on the other side of the break. It involves the special that we ran yesterday on the 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle. We're going to be able to do that special again for one more day. I'm going to give you all the details here in just on the other side of the break, because we're getting up here on the break. When we get back, I'll tell you about the deal, and then we're also going to talk about the repo auctions overnight. What did the banks need, and how come the Federal Reserve can't figure it out? That's really the thing that blows my mind, is their inability to get this thing right. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, the conservative pro-family broadcast of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, a leading voice for the sanctity of life, traditional education, the Constitution, and American sovereignty. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
When public officials travel the country and appear at local meetings, voters should take the opportunity to ask them pertinent questions about important national issues. Communist China is becoming an increasingly important country, so here are some questions to ask public officials and candidates about Communist China. What will you do about China's organized theft of our intellectual property and counterfeiting of U.S. products? China is the world's top producer of illegal copies of music, movies, software, designer clothes, and medicines. What will you do to stop China from sending us contaminated prescription drugs, such as heparin that killed 81 Americans, dangerous lead-painted toys for children, and seafood that is grown in filthy waters? What will you do about the poisonous drywall used in home construction that has destroyed appliances and copper wiring in hundreds of homes in Florida and caused headaches and coughs among the homeowners? What will you do to get our Food and Drug agents to inspect China's manufacture of prescription drugs they export to the U.S.? If we are going to let China sell prescription drugs in our country, it's our government's job to make sure they are safe. What will you do about the fact that the Chinese artificially undervalue their currency up to 40%? Subsidize their products sent to the United States, and impose import duties against U.S. products that are 10 times higher than tariffs on their products that are sold in U.S. stores? What will you do about Communist China continuing to ship us steel products at below their cost because the Communist government subsidizes the production in order to destroy the U.S. steel industry? Those are some good questions to ask congressmen and candidates so they will know you expect them to stand up for American products and jobs.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. When it comes to international trade, other countries have long been taking advantage of the American people and our generous spirit. At phyllisschlafly.com, we've got strategies to balance trade and protect the interests of American companies, resources, and citizens. For more, go to phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. Yesterday, we were running the 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle. We're doing it again today. Here's the thing. There were, I want to say, 5,000 available yesterday. Now, obviously, we didn't sell 5,000. We did good. We sold a lot. This morning, though, I was hoping this was going to happen. We actually overbought. So, and I told Arlene was booking after I'd left, and we actually overbought. Because I figured as people got home from work and were going to be listening to the podcast that we were going to be getting calls this morning. That's exactly what happened. We overbought and sold this morning. But I had Arlene check with the bullion bank, and they just got back to us. There's only one guy. By the way, this is how this market works. At this bullion bank, which is in California, there's only one person there that can give you a price. That's it. And if that guy's not there, nobody can tell you nothing. I can't book anything. I can't sell them anything. I can't get a quote on anything. Just one of those things. This sale that they ran yesterday is rare in this regard. Normally, when we get an item that's on sale, like a $20 Liquidity, okay? Like I said, they're $1,585. Maybe they'll put it on sale and they'll say, hey, it's $10 off. And I can go to $1,575 on sale. Or sometimes I'll go crazy. Hey, I'll give you $20. $20 off on a $1,500 item. It's not, you're like, okay, well, that's like a percent, 1.5%. This deal on these 10th ounce, they took $8 off of the price of what they would normally charge me for them. And no, I got them on sale at $170. So you're talking about an item, and that's after I mark it up to $170. You're talking about them, they took 5% off. That never happens. They've got, out of 5,000, there are 600 left. Here's the deal, though. The bullion bank, it's not just for, this is to any dealer out there that is smart enough to ask them. And these guys, and here's the other thing. Here's what's so fun. They don't tell you. You have to specifically ask for that item. If yesterday I didn't have Arlene ask about the 10th ounce, I wouldn't have even known about it. It's weird. It just is what it is. There's 600 of them left. Gold's up a few bucks. They're $170 a piece. I'm going to do the same thing. By the way, that's saving. I took them down over $10. This is a great opportunity on a fractional gold item like a 10th ounce gold eagle. They're so much more expensive. If you buy 50 or more, I'm going to give you another $2 off. I don't get, it's not like the bullion bank's giving me, I can buy all 600 of them. It still costs me the same. The no volume discount applies there. But I'm going to give you a volume discount. I'll take them down to $168 because they come in these tubes. There's 50 of them in a tube. $8,400 for the whole tube for 50 of them. That brings your cost down to $168. But even at $170, just a great opportunity. Obviously, they're going to sell through, and then the bullion bank, the price goes back to where it was. They're still available. 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles, $170. Buy 50 or more. I'll take them down to $168 at 800-951-0592. By the way, second quarter GDP, final revision, unchanged 2%. So that's kind of, I think, 2% growth. That's maybe it for us. Third quarter kind of looks very similar. We'll see. I hope it doesn't get worse than that. But think about it. We got 2% growth with $1 trillion deficit. So did we really grow 2%? Right, did we? Probably not. That came out today, the repos. Let's get to it. So I've been talking about this now. This is day 9, where all the banks need cash. Monday or Friday? I can't remember which day. They said, hey, enough of this day-by-day thing. We're going to come out with a schedule. And they said on this schedule, first of all, what's funny is they didn't realize they would even need to do it. Remember, last Tuesday it was an emergency because the rates spiked to 10%. Clueless. And I don't get it. We've got a quote-unquote central bank of New York. Where we got a New York central bank, and he's right there in Wall Street. All these banks, they've been writing letters, sending them memos, talking to them on the phone. Clueless. So after doing it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they finally said, okay, enough. Here's what we're going to do for the next 3 weeks. And they said $75 billion a day at the window. And 3 times we're going to do a $30 billion longer-term repo. In other words, banks are like, hey, I need to borrow some money for a while, a couple weeks. Because I'm not exactly sure what day Apple or Google or Microsoft or Target, Walmart, Fry's, that they're going to make their quarterly tax payments or whatever they're going to do, right? But need a couple $1 billion to buy back some shares, and I don't have that kind of capital. And that was the plan. And then, of course, disaster strikes this week. $75 billion wasn't enough. Yesterday, the $30 billion was the first one. Was Tuesday. Sorry, not yesterday, Tuesday. More than double oversubscribed. So then yesterday, they make another announcement. Okay, forget about $75 billion. We're going to 100. Forget about $30 billion. We're going to $60 billion on the special one. We had another one of those special ones today. They weren't even in the ballpark again. I'll tell you about that next. 800-951-0592. Just an awesome opportunity on the 10th. This is one that really never really goes on sale very often. Obviously, somebody sold a huge amount of these. Sorry about my phone, they're telemarketers. A huge amount of these recently. And my guess is, like most guys, right? Everyone sells at the bottom, right? Gold's broke 1,500, they panicked, they sold it all. And then, of course, gold's rallied back above 1,500 again. And now you got a great opportunity. 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. These are the golden dimes. And we don't know what's going to happen, right? Forget about, EMP attack, natural disaster, or riots. That's, I don't want to even think about those. But just from a financial standpoint, what if the Fed can't get this under control? What if these banks keep showing up needing more and more money? Right? What if everything locks up and you need, and we need to get into the bartering type situation? Or how about this one? Right? We go to the electronic currency because we know that's what they're waiting for. Right? And I'm sure they're working as fast as they can to get there and get rid of cash and all of those things. I'm sure these 10th ounce are going to be used to be making purchases that, maybe you don't want the government to know about. And since you can't use paper money anymore, you can be using stuff like the 10th ounce American Gold Eagle at $170. Great value. You buy 50 or more down to $168 at 800-951-0592. Let's talk about these repo auctions. So today we had 2, right? We had the new $100 billion and the new $60 billion long term. before the break, I misspoke. I thought that most of the companies needed to make their tax payments. It appears that most of them already have done so. And part of the reason why the banks need the money now is that that wiped them out. Right? They're wiped out. And so on the $60 billion long term, they're going to lend this money to the banks for weeks. They started this at $30 billion. So on Friday, these geniuses, oh yeah, $30 billion, that'll be plenty. Here we are on Thursday, and really they did it yesterday. After the first one they did was on Tuesday. Okay, so they came up with this plan on Friday. On Tuesday, they have the first auction. On Wednesday, they're like, we need to double it. Because they had $60 billion worth of request for $30 billion. So today was the first $60 billion request. Wasn't enough. A whopping $72 billion came in this time. So, and again, remember now, these are banks saying, I need this money for a while. I need this money for a while. In the request, and I remember I've been telling you this, that these banks have been holding out, trying not to have to go. I don't know what they were hoping. Some big miracle happened, and somehow, I don't know, Apple sold like a billion iPhones, and a mystery $20-30 billion deposit was going to come in. I don't know. $43 billion worth of treasuries were submitted. $30 billion worth of mortgages submitted. Mortgage-backed securities. The Federal Reserve took $35.7 billion in treasuries. So think about this. Here you go to this repo with U.S. Treasury bills, and you don't get the money. They gave $24 billion of the $29 and change on the mortgage-backed securities. And again, I've been highlighting this. Okay, we've got a liquidity crisis. Okay, I get it. Obviously, we didn't fix the problem from '08. That's what this means. We didn't fix it. We delayed it. And now it's back. We're not even in recession. There's no panic. Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers did not go under yesterday. Do you understand? That's what we had to do. That open the Fed window because Lehman Brothers failed. Bear Stearns failed. And let's face it, they all failed. And now here we are back again, and don't talk about it. See, because, again, they think that it won't last too long. They're hoping, hey, give us a month or so, and it'll go away. Why would I believe that? First, you didn't even think you were going to need to do it. Then, 4 days, you're like, well, we'll do it day by day. Then, on a Friday, you come up with this plan. And by the following Wednesday, you're like, you know that plan we came up with on Friday? Let's get rid of that because it's not enough. Here's a new plan. Kind of leads me to believe this is going to be a problem for a lot longer than they think. 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles at 170. Buy 50 or more, you save $2. Buy 50 of them, it's $8,400. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. Final segment on this Thursday. You know, on another bad note, really. So that was the long-term one, way oversubscribed. On the daily one that they bumped up to $100 billion, that was undersubscribed. They could have left it at 75. It would have been fine. Again, they have no idea what's happening. How's that possible? I mean, that disturbs me more than anything. And the fact that so many banks need all this liquidity. I got a feeling tomorrow's going to be another big day because of the weekend. So we'll have to wait and see there. 800-951-0592. Now, I don't know how real this is or isn't. But the Democrats are at it again. You know, Bernie Sanders had the momentum the last time. And they insisted it be Hillary. Right? We know that. Right? They weren't going to do it. Now Elizabeth Warren has the momentum. And I'll tell you right now, of all the candidates, she worries me the most. She's tough. So I don't think she's going to mind getting all nasty, put it that way, right? You want to get nasty? Let's get nasty. Where most of the Democrats, oh, poor me. This is out of CNBC. They're saying that the Democratic donors on Wall Street and in big business are threatening to sit out the presidential campaign fundraising cycle or even help President Trump if Elizabeth Warren wins the party nomination. And I'm going to quote here. This is a quote. They won't name who it is. So, and again, is it true? Probably. This is because, everybody at the end of the day, they only care about themselves. You're in a box because you're a Democrat and you're thinking, I want to help the party, but she's going to hurt me, so I'm going to help President Trump, a senior private equity executive who declined to be named. I mean, okay, I don't know, but that makes sense to me, right? There you go. Hey, we don't want... she's probably got the best chance to win, but we don't want to nominate her because we like being rich. That is spoken like a true liberal. 800-951-0592. Like I said, gold's up today, 15.08, up $3 here now. Let's call it $3, 15.08. Silver is really unchanged right now, 1787 on silver. The Dow is down 85 points right now. The S&P is down 11. The NASDAQ down 63. Crude oil down again. $56 on crude oil. Apparently, we didn't need that 5 million barrels. I guess that's the way I look at it. Who knew? But that's the markets today. And again, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Got the weekend coming up. I think of all the news, GDP, housing, the whistleblower, the big news was China saying, hey, we did our part here. We bought a bunch of soybeans. We bought a bunch of hogs. Now it's your turn to do us a solid. And from what they said, we're kind of thinking something a little different. And that, hey, no more waivers for Huawei. Got the markets, right, not so excited about a deal. Patriot Radio News Hour. One more show before we end of the week. Take advantage of these tensions. These opportunities don't come very often, especially on that particular item. Have a great day. We'll be back again for the final show tomorrow.